Hi guys, I'm Björn.
I'm Anders, and we are in Flames, and you guys are watching Chaos TV.
Hello everyone, Chaos TV is today here at Hotel Radisson Blue in Helsinki, Finland, and we have the pleasure to talk with Björn and Anders from In Flames. So first of all, welcome to Finland guys once again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So in general, how has the year kicked off for you guys?
Slowly, which is nice because the year is going to be very busy. This is the second interview of over a week-long promo trip, so we're still fresh, nice. Looking forward to this interview. So,
Everything is still interesting.
Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah.
So obviously, you guys are about to release a new album, The Mask, on March through Nuclear Blast. So first of all, could you tell us a bit about the writing process for the album? Was it like a typical for you guys, or did it differ this time around?
I think we learned a lot from the last time we recorded. When we did Battles, we started working with a producer called Howard Benson. And he really brought out some really good stuff in us. We started working a new way, so to speak. I mean, we were both in the same room at the same time, writing anything from vocal melodies to guitar melodies, and so that writing process was very different from how we usually have done it before. So now when we did this record, we had this already. So the process was really quick, creative, inspiring, and fun, I have to say. So yeah, it was.
Yeah, so as you already said, you worked with Howard again, so was it that it worked so well for the first time that you decided that, hey, why not continue working with the same team?
Yeah, exactly like that. Actually, it was as easy as that, because we had a great time. The team he has and the setup they have is super fast, efficient, and gave us a lot of time to focus on the songwriting. Even though we spent a couple hours in the studio recording, we can go home in the evening, make some food, and continue writing on our little portable studio that we had. So it was just a very good setup, and yeah, I loved it, and I wouldn't mind doing it again, because it's good people to work with.
So I've been listening to the album for a couple of days now, and for me it feels that it's more like guitar oriented, and it has like less electronics than the previous couple of albums. So what's actually your take on the album?
Well, I'd say that there's in the music is probably as much electronic stuff. It's a matter of production in the end, mixing it. But we talked about it before, and it is more focus on the guitars than perhaps has been in the past.
Yeah, they're like more upfront.
Yeah, and it's a mixing thing again, but it's something that I'm not unhappy with that. I kind of like that, obviously. But no, I think the overall sound is really, really good. We got lucky working with Chris Lord-Alge for the mixing, and him and Howard knows each other really well. So I guess, and he's a kind of a rock guy, and that usually means a lot of guitars.
And for me also, like the upcoming album sounds a bit like old In Flames sounded. So do you agree?
No. Well, this talk about old versus new, that feels very old to me. You know, yeah. It's another In Flames album, and what it means to you, it doesn't necessarily. It's what it is for me, which I think is cool. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know, we want to make an album that is personal for anyone who's listening to it. This is where we are right now, and if more guitars in the mix means more old for some people, and that's fine. It's not our intention to make it sound old or new. It's an intention to make a great new In Flames album. That's how we look at it every time. Then how it comes out in the other end, and how people portray it, and how people dissect it. It's out of our hands. Mm.
So do you normally have like a vision when you start writing an album, or is it just like a process that the end result is what it is?
I think we have sort of a few keywords. That's another thing we talked about earlier too. It's like there's no master plan. We kind of know how we sound and what we want to do, but there's certain words, like we wanted it to sound heavy, and we wanted it to be big. So each and every song has that focus. And it's a bit more up-tempo, but that's just something that happens in the writing process later. But having a few key words, I think, is important, and that's what we have.
So those songs also sound a bit more like big in a sense. That do you actually think about those kind of things when you are writing music, that you are playing for bigger audiences, bigger stages, so that the songs need also to carry a bit more?
I don't know. I don't think you think, if you speak about like this song would be great in a stadium like that. It's more if
On
this
stage.
works live.
Yeah.
If it's 2 people or is it 20,000 people, that doesn't really matter. We want to make this song sounds big and get a great verse into a big chorus, getting like all these elements. That's what, but it's not into a small club versus a stage. You don't really think about that. It's more about live or not live. Will this work at all? But we, as Björn said, we have a few keywords and things that we think about. Like, but then it's a matter of how we feel. We feel pretty quick if it's gonna work or not. Is this a riff that will be better if we work on it for an hour? Or is this a vocal line that will be better if we work on it an hour or so? Usually it's like, nah, it's not. If it feels good the first few minutes, then it should stay on the album. And we don't write 30, 40 songs and then pick the best 12. We write the album. That's what it is. So we actually we don't throw a lot away. We are very good at coming up with stuff that we both like.
We filter really early. We filter really early. Like even if it might feel pretty good, if it's not, if it's not right here right away, then it will be a waste of time. From our experience, it's no point in trying to polish something that's not good enough to begin with. So, but this is a tasting, and everybody needs to remember that, and it's our taste. So it's always going to be, discussions about this, and as you said, dissecting of the album and stuff. We're just very happy with it. So, and that's how we that's the main goal. When we're happy, then it's easy for us to be on stage playing these songs. And then, as you said, it doesn't matter if it's, well, it does matter if it's 2 people or 20,000. It really matters. I have to say that, and I can't lie. But we don't mind playing club shows or smaller club shows all the way up to the biggest festivals, because if we believe in the songs and enjoy playing them, then we're good.
So how important it is actually for you when you are like making an album that the songs sound also same when you play them live?
Hopefully better. I mean, to be honest, it's more massive. You have a huge PA, hopefully, and if we play it right, it should come out really good. So that's important. We think about that process during the process of writing already, like how can we portray this live? That's very important.
I do think live and studio are 2 different things, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the songs we should be able to play the songs live, and they should sound great live, but it doesn't have to sound exactly the way it does in the studio, because I mean, you only have one chance when you play live. In the studio I can do retake after retake after retake. Let's try to make this perfect. That's not how it goes live, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, you can't be in a live situation and start like dissecting every string he hits or every drum beat or every vocal is like perfect. It's like that's taking away from that live feeling. So, but the actual songs, we know if it's going to be a powerful riff, or how is that going to portray live, or is this doable? So that's what we have learned through. If we learn something through this, our whole career, is how we get the songs from the studio into the live environment. We don't have to overdub the guitars or the vocals 8 times, because then we can't reproduce them live. And all the keys and stuff like that, it's just recent that we started having a guy with us on stage playing some of the stuff live. Usually that's programmed because we're 5 guys, we don't want to have more people in the band, and it's easier to have. Since we have a lot of drum loops and stuff like that. We don't want to have someone that just start playing on a pad, start and stop the drum loops. That's easier to have on like a backing track or some stuff. But that's what we think. So production-wise, we think about these things. But I look at live and studio as 2 different entities.
Yeah. So speaking about the vocal work on the album, I think it's like really diverse, and I also read that you took some vocal lessons for it. So
yes.
Could you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I did. It was Howard pushed me into doing the vocal lessons. I did when we did Horacle, I did like 3 vocal lessons, pretty much to learn how to breathe. Then I haven't really cared about my vocals. Just I wake up, drink a few beers, go on stage, and that's it. That's how much I've cared about it. But he said, like, try it. It's not only good for you, it could actually be fun. So I did that on Battles, and I had an amazing experience with my vocal coach. And
this is Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Mark Renk, his name is, and he works out of Los Angeles, an awesome guy. And we formed this like great relationship. And he learned. I learned a lot of things about my own voice from him, because I'm not trying to become the best singer in the world. I want to master my own instrument. That's what it is. So with this, when it came to this album, I already said, like, I want to do that again, but I want to do it more extensively. I want to do it like 3 times a week or 4 times a week. I want to do it like again and again. So I went to him for 3 months. I went to him for 3 days a week, sort of, and that actually helped me become a better singer within In Flames. You know, like I can reach a different range and get higher up in the octaves and stuff like that. And it's all for the better. You know, it was, at first it was really scary being in front of one guy on a piano and start singing. But with this one, I like first session we had it, we were already up to speed. So it's for me, it made me appreciate what we do better. It was more fun, and for when I'll take that back from what me and Mark are doing into the session that me and Björn are doing, it makes that process more fun, and I listen more to what he says, and he's when we talk about the songs, I'm not like, oh no, this is my department. You know, I already are open for other people's ideas, which I wasn't before. So okay, it's made everything better, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have said that this album is kind of like made for the fans. So what do you mean by that? Obviously, I guess fans have been there from the beginning, but...
No, but it's as you get older, the longer you've done it, I mean, you realize that it's because of fans that we can do what we do. I mean, obviously, somebody has to make the music and we have to go through a process, but it's definitely, you know, we're so grateful that we can do what we do. We are working with, like, it's my greatest passion, and it takes me all over the world, and I can hang out with my best buddies, and I can be on stage and see these happy faces in the crowd, and it's just because of our fans. Yeah. Without them, we would be we probably wouldn't be a band anymore, because it's go to the rehearsal space every day. It's kind of boring if nobody's listening, you know. Yeah. So it's definitely, you know, it's easy to take things for granted, but to actually reach out and say thank you, I think that's important too.
So you also have your own festival, Borgholm Brynner, which I guess went pretty well last year, because you are planning to continue with that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. That experience was great. It's one of the best live experiences we had. The first night we played, I think, walking off stage and just see the faces of Björn and Tanner, Bryce and Nicholas and Niels, who were with us playing keys at that point, we were like, oh, this is fantastic.
The surrounding is just incredible, and it's something that we've been talking about for quite some time, and actually having done that first show was really intense afterwards.
Yeah, speaking of the fan, I mean, at that point we feel like it wasn't like a band on stage and people in the crowd. It was like we were one organism, like working together. It's insane, and being, like you said, in this environment, this castle that's been there for years, hundreds and hundreds of years. It's just crazy, it was awesome. So
of course we want to do it again.
Yeah. So did you plan on playing like a totally different set list when you play your own festival, or is it gonna be the same that you are playing everywhere else, or?
We were playing 2 nights, which means that we had to change up the set list a little bit, and it was a lot especially for Tanner. He was pretty much brand new with us to focus and well, was he playing then? Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? Yeah. I keep mixing shows up here, but it was a lot of songs to learn for him, obviously. So we had to take it a little bit easy on the changing of the set list. But it was it's a lot of songs, and I think that's necessary, because you will have pretty much the same audience 2 nights in a row. So you wanna change it up a little bit. It's a lot of work for us, but there was so many other things that were so much work with and so much new experiences for us that this was just another part of it. But it's fun. It ended up really well. The second day was a little bit more shaky with the set, but because I think we did focus more on the stuff that we usually do on the first night in order to get everything running, and then we experimented a little bit more on the second day.
So quite a lot of bands have done that they have played through like their classic albums when they have turned like, for example, 20 or 30 years. And I guess, I'm not sure if you are aware, but Colony turns like 20 years this year. So
and the answer is no.
I was actually going to ask you that. What do you think about those kind of things? That do you actually prefer playing more of the new stuff than the old stuff live, or would you see yourself playing some album through someday?
No.
Maybe with your latest album, or no?
No, I don't think. For us, we're kind of looking forward musically all the time. We obviously have everything that we've done with us.
Yeah.
But like for now, we're really looking forward to playing these songs live, the new record. But we still have all the old stuff with us. It's just getting harder to put a set list together, basically, because you have an hour and a half. You have 13 albums now. It's hard to get even 2 songs from each album on there.
Yeah.
So we rather focus on the new ones and stuff that we know a lot of people want to hear, and songs that we really want to play from the past. But yeah, no, I wouldn't see us. We've been asked this a lot of times. I wouldn't see us playing Jester Race all the way through, or we've done soundtrack to Your Escape. Yeah, we did that, but that was more for recording, filming it, and us to get to know the songs, basically. That was very small stage and very special environment, but that was mostly for us.
And that album was new at that point. That was the newest album, and we love our old songs and our old albums. That's not why. It's just like I don't want to be in a band that relies on old material. I just want to continue to push ourselves. I mean, it's always there, and we're gonna bring some of those songs into the set list, at points,
Yeah, but for example, Amorphis is playing next year at Tuska, and they are playing like Queen of Time through, which is their latest album. So, would you see yourself doing I the Mask fully? Obviously, there will be songs that you won't play live because, as you said, you won't be able to add them all to the set list. So that's would be something special for the fans.
Yeah, it would be very special. I mean, I've went to concerts that are like that. I saw Dream Theater play a couple of records through, and it's amazing, obviously. If you're a fan of a particular album and it's Christmas, obviously. But from a band's perspective, or from me as a part of the band, I'd rather mix it up a bit. Because it's mostly I want to have fun, playing, and I think that a lot of those albums in the past weren't really, I mean, a lot of them, I say, a few of them in the beginning we didn't think about the live environment, so it gets kind of complicated sometimes to try to recreate stuff as well. At least that's from my point of view, and I could totally see from a super fan of a certain record's point of view as well.
So in the end, a bit about future plans. So what's in the scope after putting the album out?
It's touring. We have the rest of the year. It's going to be extensive, and we're going to be on the road for months and months and months.
Probably years.
Yes.
So
So hey guys, thank you a lot for the time, and all the best for the future. Anything you want to say as your fans as last words? You will be coming at least for one show in Finland in the summer for the Rockfest festival.
Yeah, there will be more. Finland has always been amazing for us. So it's a very heavy metal oriented people. And we love coming here. So thank you very much for all these years.